So today we're doing spinach and we are testing all of the lather for all of the spinach soaps that we've been doing. And I'm very, very excited about it because I want to talk about the color. I want to talk about the lather. I want to talk about the bar longevity. I want to talk about all those things. And I will tell you more and talk about them more in just a minute. But before I do, hello, I am Mrs. Soap and Clay. Let's make stuff. How's it going, Sudsers? Welcome back to the channel. You are at Soap and Clay, where we make all the soapy things, and you are here for, as I said, lather test day. Now, the spinach soaps have been an interesting journey. We started out with juicing, fresh spinach using the juicer, and then incorporating the spinach juice itself first into the lye water, so 100% water replacement into the lye solution. Second, using regular lye water, but putting the spinach juice into the traced soap batter after it hit emulsion. And then third, no spinach juice whatsoever, just using the infused spinach oil that we had used for all three recipes. Now, the reason that I did this is because I wanted to see a number of things. First, how is the bar going to perform lather-wise? Is there going to be any real benefit to incorporating spinach into your lye solution or your soaping oils in order to produce a really nice lather? Because remember, we are dealing with rinse-off products. This is what soap is, and I know. It can also have benefits for the skin, even though it's a rinse-off product, which is why I like to talk about all the benefits for all the ingredients that we've been using for all these deep dives. But we do want to look at bar performance first and foremost. Is it going to produce a good lather? Is it going to have moisturizing properties? Is it going to be overly drying? Is it going to help out with the overall bar longevity? These are the things that are going to look for when we do a lather test, when we do the final soap test. So that's why I did it in different ways to see if there was a difference in how we incorporated them. Next up, what I do want to test with all of this, because we are looking at spinach as essentially a natural colorant. Bars, as I said, have been cured for a month. So this is 4 weeks post, pouring, and I've left them out in open air and in direct sunlight. And I want to show you what the overall results are. Granted, it is very difficult to film greens, and so I'm kind of just going to be playing with it a lot, just moving it back and forth so you can see what the green ultimately ended up doing for all three bars. So I do want to look at this as a potential natural colorant, and if we're going to be getting any fading or any browning that has been reported from a number of you in the comments for all of these soaps. So we will be looking at that as well. And then ultimately, I will be giving my opinions as to whether or not spinach is going to be a good and or needed benefit to the soap. And so that's what we're doing now. So let's get to the lather tests and we can see what we're working with and, come back here and talk about it in a minute. Well, here we are for the lather tests. And again, we are looking for lots of different stuff. We are looking for our total bar hardness. We are looking for ultimately what the color has done after a nice cure and it stopped losing water weight. And as I said, greens are really, really difficult to actually capture. So I decided to go ahead at some point and just go ahead and get a white piece of paper out to maybe help out with the white balance here. And so that's what we're working with here. But these things are IRL still green. I would say that they are a nice, I don't know. It's a mid green. There's definitely yellow tones to it. And you can see within this one, this is the second one that we put the spinach juice into the traced batter. The swirls that were created from the spinach and the glycerin solution together, they're more goldy, which is really beautiful. It's very cool, like gold vein going through all of that. And the first bar is definitely still a green, much like, I don't know, peas. Let's go with peas. And then the third bar here, which is again the soap that we did with just the spinach infused in the oils. So all of these had spinach infused into the oils. You saw that process in one of the other videos. All of these had the spinach infused into the actual oil base, and the recipe was the same. For the first one, we did put the spinach juice into the lye solution, substituting 100% of the water for the spinach juice because spinach is primarily water. The spinach juice is going to be 91% water and just a little bit of solids, as we saw when I did the extraction and put the lye and the citric acid into the spinach juice to separate the solids from the liquids. And then in the second video, the second soap, we did the same as far as the oils were concerned, but we just put the same amount of spinach juice into the actual soap batter, subtracting that amount of water from the overall water content. Now, with this one, very, very firm in the hand, beautiful, beautiful firmness with it. And these have, again, cured for about a month. And they stopped losing water weight at around 7-8 days. And this is really no different than what I would expect to get from the bars when they were 7 or 8 days old. And that lather, beautiful immediate payoff there. Absolutely love it. It's very, very stunning. It has an almost effervescent feel to it. And so I do like it for sure. So bar longevity, as far as the hardness of the bar and whatnot, I don't think it's much impacted, if at all, by the spinach. The lather itself, I would expect a good lather from this recipe. It is one of my staples in my line, and so I would expect it to be very, very good regardless. But that big payoff with the little effervescent bubbles, very clean, nothing slimy about it, like you would expect with an olive oil soap, for example. Very gorgeous lather with that. Very good hand feel to it. And this one, yeah, it was kind of much the same. You see that big, beautiful bubble payoff right there. Absolutely gorgeous. Really good hand feel. Not a lot of slippage to the bar, but also not overly dragging onto the skin. And the more you manipulate the bar, you see the creamier and the denser the lather gets, which would make it really beautiful for overall body cleansing as well as potentially a shave bar. I don't know. I don't know that it's quite there for a shave bar. I would need it to be a little bit more. I don't know. Well, I could think what you're going to end up seeing with the third bar, but big, beautiful, tiny, tight little bubbles with that. I love that. Definitely a huge foam payoff. Now, this is going to be the soap that has just the spinach oils, the infused oils within all of it, and no spinach juice whatsoever. And when we had talked about the spinach juice itself and what it could contribute to the lather, I'm not really coming up with much. There's not a lot as far as the, like a sugar content or anything that would immediately encourage a better, bigger lather. But with this one, I ended up having to work quite a bit to get a really good lather. And once it did happen, it really did start to get just like a thicker and creamier type lather to it, which is very beautiful. I love that. That would be more akin to something that I would want within a shave soap. But as far as how much I had to work with the bar to get the lather, I don't like that. I do not like that. I want it to be an immediate, instant big bubble payoff. I don't want any sliminess to it, which we don't have. I don't want it to feel overly drying afterwards, which none of these have. So definitely no drying problems. But you see how really creamy that lather is? That would be a lovely lather to shave your legs with. So as far as all three of them go, the lather tests are great. The bar hardness is great. This did not impact a longer or shorter cure time. So it's good. And as far as overall color, they're still green. They will continue to fade over time. All natural colorants do. And if they fade into some really drastic ways, I will, put a picture up on the community tab and let you all know that. But for now, which one do you like? So right off the bat, I love the colors. I love that they stayed being this absolutely beautiful green. All of them did exactly what I wanted, considering there was no other colorant put into this. We were just dealing with the yellow dock as well as the kaolin clay and then the spinach itself incorporated in different ways. We did still get a really beautiful green hue throughout all of them. So I definitely love that. Second, bar hardness. Very, very hard bars of soap. I wouldn't expect anything else from this particular recipe, or from the way that I cure my soaps. So that was not a real surprise. And I don't think the spinach contributed at all to making the bar any harder. Next, lather. This recipe in and of itself is a workhorse recipe of mine, so it's going to produce a good lather regardless. And this one did about the same. You know, you could definitely tell a difference between the first two soaps that we tested, so the ones that had the spinach juice itself versus just the infused spinach oil. And so the two that we did first, they definitely had a better lather to them. So I would say if you're going to incorporate the spinach itself, I would do so in the juice with your lye solution or in your trace batter, because those definitely worked out really well. Do everything else. I mean, fine. It's a fine thing to put into your soaps. I don't see a huge benefit to it, however, outside of the natural colorants. The natural colorants themselves, as with all natural colorants, they will fade over time. And I will be showing you guys updates with these soaps as I continue to just let them sit next to a window, direct sunlight, all the jazz, to see what my results are as I watch them. Keep that in mind when you are using any natural colorants. But as far as a beautiful green, yeah, this one totally works. And it's really easy. Spinach is cheap. If you have a juicer, it's easy to get the juice. I juice things all the time, and so spinach juice is in our drinks every morning. So it's a good thing for me. Easy peasy. I can throw it in my soaps for sure. Why not? For anything else, I don't know. I don't really see a benefit to it. Caffeine had a benefit. Rose has a benefit. The sea moss has a benefit, you know. But as far as spinach goes, I think it's just a really cool thing that you could put in for label appeal. Or again, as I said, to get a good natural colorant. Would be my take. But what do you guys think? Do you use spinach in your soaps? Do you like spinach in your soaps? Now we're going to be done with spinach for a minute, but we're not done with it entirely because I am still going to be making a cosmetic with spinach because I do want to focus on the actual topical benefits that you can get from a leave-on product. And so we will be doing that next week or the week after. I haven't quite figured out how I'm going to structure all of these different infusions that we're doing for the fruits and veg, you know? And so do be on the lookout for that. But what we will be doing next up next week will be a whole lot more juicing. We are juicing very weird things. And by very weird, I mean incredibly weird. It is going to be a moment. It is going to be a journey. And you should definitely stick around for that. And yeah, that's kind of it. I hope you guys liked the spinach journey. I might be cooking something else up because I have been thinking about different ways to produce this information to you. Kind of struggling with it with this new thing. I love doing the deep dives, but I am concerned that splitting across too many videos could be difficult for so I'm working on something. So you might see that on Sunday. Otherwise, I will be back on Monday for another round of all things fruits and veg infused soapy fun. Bye.